Janice, are you there?
At your service, sir.
Enter the manosphere.
Of course. How can I assist you today?
Give me some of that dating foolishness.
Will do, sir.
That sci-fi concept, fast becoming a troubling reality. As an example, here's one of countless chatbot apps providing AI friends. It's called Cupid AI with a K for Cupid. It offers several avatars with distinct physical features and a list of personality traits for you to start interacting with and customizing. For instance, here's the opening message from an avatar named Alice, described as a curious and open-minded photographer.
I'm Alice, a 25 years old, fun-loving and adventurous girl, seeking a partner in crime to travel the world with and make unforgettable memories. If you are new here, let me explain a few things. You can chat with me as much as you want, and I'd be more than happy to learn more about you and please you in any way I can. If you want me to send you a photo, you just have to ask it in the chat, like, "Hey Alice, can you send me a picture of you?" And I'll be more than happy to send you one.
But of course, to bump up from texting to more voice chat, as well as receiving sexy and, well, other sorts of pictures, Alice asked that we become a premium member for $9.99 a month. So we bid her farewell.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. The inevitable is happening right before our very eyes. Technology is improving and advancing so fast to the point that we are about to witness the replacement of girlfriends by AI girlfriends, reshaping the landscape of human relationships. And as always, there are people both for and against the new developments and changes in the world. Professor Liberty VITTERT wrote an article titled "AI Girlfriends Are Ruining an Entire Generation of Men. But are real girlfriends doing a better job? Are real women still the best option for men?" We'll discuss this topic in this video. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
Joining me now is Liberty VITTERT, professor of data science at Washington University in St. Louis and opinion contributor for The Hill. So not to be prurient at this time of day, but are all the needs of these young men able to be facilitated, taken care of by AI avatars?
Well, you have to think about this word AI that is in this. It's not a virtual girlfriend, it's an AI girlfriend. So it learns from you. It learns what you like and what you don't like, what kind of pictures you like, what kind of pictures you don't like. And while not all needs are met, that is the next step, is actual physical girlfriends, AI ones for that matter. And so the next step or the next frontier is one that can meet all of your needs.
So there's going to be some type of pairing between what I've already shown to the CNN audience and something 3D that's going to be, in your living room or bedroom?
Yes, I mean, that is the world we are moving into. And as you said, it's enabling this entire generation of young men to continue in this loneliness epidemic. It's really the enabler for this to continue.
If a perfect girlfriend enters the market but doesn't alleviate men's loneliness and instead perpetuates it, what alternatives exist? We can talk for hours about loneliness in men, but at the end of the day, you're gonna tell men to man up. And that completely ignores the problems men face when it comes to dating.
Professor, what's going on with young women? If this is a trend among young men, is there something similarly taking place with the ladies?
We don't see that. With as you saw, it's 2-to-1, the ratio of single men to single women. Young women are marrying older men because they want to have children. They have a biological clock, and so you see them being with older men. And that is obviously causing huge issues with birth decline. We've had a 50% decline over the past 60 years because women go with older men. We also see psychologically that younger women, they have more close friends, they have more wider groups of friends, and they are not being nearly as affected as young men in this sort of silent epidemic of loneliness.
This is where the double standard comes in, because women also suffer from loneliness. But as you can see from these articles, women are considered empowered because they are single, but men have to step up when they are single. So the narrative is always that women are perfect and men need to do better. The foolishness. The reason women date older guys is because older men are established. They make more money than younger men. And in this modern dating market, women are complaining they can't find financially eligible bachelors to date while complaining about the gender pay gap at the same time. You can't make this stuff up. You're not going to have this problem with a bot.
I have read about incels, involuntarily celibate guys who are angry about it. I think their argument is that women today are less approachable. Has something happened? Has something shifted in terms of the dynamics, the power dynamics between young men and young women? I guess that's my question.
I think there's certainly an argument there that, I mean, if you look at college campuses, there's more women than men. Women are having careers, they're having children later. So there might be an argument that men need to adapt to this change in women, but calling it women's fault, I don't think is probably the right way to go.
You see, I just said it. Men need to adapt, not women. Nah, because there are more women in college, so men need to step up. F out of here. Of course, it's not all women's fault, but they are major contributors to the problem. You heard what the guy said. Incel. These are men who would not be celibate if they had the choice. Back in the day, we would call these guys TFLers, true forced loneliness. Nowadays, the average Joe is struggling to have sex. More than 60% of young men between the ages of 18 and 30 are single. That's more than half. Most people are average. Most people look average. You see the pattern here? Women don't want average. They want the crème de la crème, the chat de la chat. And they still complain when they have it. They do not understand that they are dealing with a rarity. Check this out.
Kiss me on my neck because I made $17,000. And I'm like, we'll make $17,000 next month. And then we can talk. You know, like.
Can I ask a question? You made $17,000, essentially big deal. Make it next month and then we'll talk. So I'm asking you, if he made it 2 months in a row, would you then kiss his neck? I'm being metaphorical with it, but that's what he said he wants.
No, I don't think I would give him what he wants.
Okay, is it 3 months?
No, it's not time. He could do it in infinite.
Exactly.
Damn!
Bots are winning.
Professor Scott Galloway, himself a professor at NYU Stern School of Business and host of a successful podcast, Professor G is the title of it. He's often been a guest of mine talking about the troubles among young men. I'm going to show you and everyone else something that he said to me on these airwaves about a year ago, and then you can react. Roll it.
But the issue is, when you have a group of men, the lower half of attractiveness of men in online dating, which has doubled, now it's about half of relationships, and the top 20% of men in terms of attractiveness get about 60% of the interest, you end up with a group of men that are more prone to conspiracy theory, more prone to misogynistic content, more prone to not believe in climate change. So this is the American story. If it's written with a pen whose ink is failing young men, does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
Make sense to you, Professor Vittert?
Absolutely. You know, what happens is these young men get in these AI relationships, and because the AI learns from you exactly what you like and you don't like, you end up having these perfect relationships. So that when you go into real life and you try to have a relationship, the most human thing we can do, it's not perfect, and there's ups and downs, and they're not able to deal with these ups and downs, not only in relationships, but in life in general.
Why are we acting like men weren't struggling with this shit before AI was a factor? It's women who have embraced feminism. It's women who are responsible for hookup culture in college. They are not looking for a husband. They are looking to... If women were to demand marriage before giving access to their punani, we would have a different conversation. And stop overlooking the men who are saying the juice ain't worth the squeeze. A lot of modern women suck at being a girlfriend. We made videos on how women are groomed to be like men. We're gonna have bots that do a better job at being feminine. The foolishness.
Professor Vittert, if a young man has an AI girlfriend, is there shame in that? In other words, is this the sort of thing that you share with your buddy, or are you keeping it a secret?
You know, it's interesting. It started off as something that was kept secret, sort of like the porn industry. Young men wouldn't talk about porn, or that was Playboy was hidden behind some house somewhere. But then it became part of the normal conversation, and that's what we're seeing with AI girlfriends. Is now it is becoming part of the normal conversation, and it's no longer shameful, which means it becomes significantly bigger.
Fellas, would you have a problem with one of your friends having an AI girlfriend? Let us know.
I mean, you saw, I hope you saw, I don't know if you have a return monitor, but we showed, can we put up again, Jordan, can you just show the imaging? It's so sophisticated, and I'm sure it's only going to get better and better. And I'm wondering the impact that it's going to have on a young man's, I'm showing one of these avatars right now. I'm also wondering, much like porn being ubiquitous, it's going to raise expectations, right? If porn is so accessible among young men, they're going to have expectations that that's, the natural course of business, when perhaps it isn't. I think I'll say it that way. And similarly, when there's an avatar who looks like that, it too is going to set expectations. You get the final word.
You can set things down to their rear end size. So you can set anything you want, which is going to create really terrible expectations and just continue this epidemic of loneliness that has enormous repercussions.
This is exactly what has happened with social media and dating apps. It has contributed to the unrealistic expectations women have today. Ask women to lower their expectations and they will give you hell. I agree that there will be negative consequences with AI girlfriends, but what's happening is inevitable. It's time for women to step up when it comes to this dating foolishness. And I'm telling you, they will step up because the catastrophe is on its way. She wrote it in her article. Janice, read.
These young men are lonely, and it is having real consequences. They are choosing AI girlfriends over real women, meaning they don't have relationships with real women, don't marry them, and then don't have and raise babies with them. America desperately needs people to have more babies, but all the signs are pointing toward fewer relationships, fewer marriages, and fewer babies. There have been 600,000 fewer births in 2023 in the US relative to 15 years ago. The number of children per woman has decreased by more than 50% in the last 60 years. Put another way, we don't have enough people to work, and therefore we won't be able to pay our bills, not just to other countries, but to ourselves. We spent more than $1.6 trillion in 2021 on Medicare and Medicaid, with the number of Americans on Medicare expected to increase by 50% by 2030, to more than 80 million people. But over the same period, we will have only 10 million more Americans joining the workforce.
My God, the world's coming to hell in a handbasket. Your final thought is yours.
I think we're going to see what we only dreamed of in the movies, and it's not a really good reality.
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.